Good afternoon, students. So today in this video we are going to discuss about consumer equilibrium in case of two commodities. So in our previous video we discussed with the single commodity, so consumer equilibrium in case of a single commodity. So today in this case in this video we are going to discuss about the two commodities. Okay, so as I have already said that the law of DMU is applicable in case of either one commodity or one use of a commodity. However, in real life, a consumer is consuming more than one commodity, isn't it? So, in such a situation, the law of equi-marginal utility helps in optimum allocation of his income. So, in case of two commodities, the law of diminishing marginal utility will not be applicable. In that case, the law of equi-marginal utility will help us in optimum allocation of the income of the consumer. So, the law of equi-marginal utility is also known as law of substitution, law of maximum satisfaction, or Gauss's second law. The law of DMU was the Gauss's first law of consumption. Law of equi-marginal utility is called Gauss's second law. Okay, so this law, according to the law of equi-marginal utility, a consumer gets maximum satisfaction when ratio of the MU, marginal utility of two commodities, and their respective prices are equal and MU falls as consumption increases. Okay, so what this law states, according to the law of equi-marginal utility, a consumer in case of consuming two commodities will get a maximum satisfaction when the marginal utility of the two commodity, when the ratio of the marginal utility of the two commodities and their respective prices are equal and MU falls as consumption increases. So it means there are two necessary conditions to attain consumer equilibrium in case of two commodities. So the first condition is ratio of marginal utility to price, MU, marginal utility, price, P. So in case of both the goods, suppose consumer is consuming two goods, X and Y. Okay, suppose we know that a consumer in the consumption of a single commodity, say X, is at equilibrium from our previous discussion, MUX by PX equals to MUM. Similarly, when consumer is consuming another commodity, say Y, it will be in equilibrium at MUY, marginal utility, ratio of MU, and price. MUY by PY equals to MUM, marginal utility of money. So equating 1 and 2, you get MUX by PX, MUY by PY equals to MUM. So just we are equating. So as marginal utility of money is assumed to be constant, the above equilibrium condition can be restated as MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY, or MUX by MUY equals to PX by PY. Okay. So when PX equals to PY, the equilibrium condition can be restated as MUX equals to MUY, because it will be cross multiplied, isn't it? It will be cross multiplied. So this is the equilibrium condition for the consumer to be in equilibrium in case of two commodity, and the equilibrium condition is MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY equals to MUM, and since MUM is constant, so we can state it in the form of MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY. So this is the equilibrium condition. And another second condition is MU falls as consumption increases. As you know, the second condition that is needed to attain the consumer equilibrium is that marginal utility of a commodity must fall as more of it is consumed. If MU does not fall as consumption increases, the consumer will end up buying only one good, which is unrealistic, and the consumer will never reach the equilibrium position. So for that case, the MU falls as the consumption increases. So these are the two conditions. Okay, so now we will discuss that. We have discussed that equilibrium condition is MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY. So what if the equilibrium is disturbed? Suppose MUX by PX is not equals to MUY by PY. It is MUX by PX is greater than MUY by PY. In this case, what will happen? The consumer is getting maximum utility in case of good X. as compared to good Y. So therefore the consumer will buy more of X and less of Y. So as the consumer starts to buy more of X, this will lead to fall in MUX, because as the consumer start to consume more of commodity X, the marginal utility of X will fall. MUX will fall and there will be rise in MUY, because the consumer is not consuming good Y. So the consumer will continue to buy more of X and MUY will decrease till the equilibrium MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY is restored. So this is one case. Another is when MUX by PX less than MUY by PY. The consumer is also not in equilibrium in this case. So in this case, the consumer is getting more of utility in case of good Y compared to good X. Therefore, he will buy more of Y and less of Y. So as of more of Y and less of X. So this will lead, as the consumer start to consume more of Y, the MUY, the marginal utility of Y will fall and there will be rise in MUX. The consumer will continue to buy more of Y and the MUY will fall till MUX by PX is equals to MUY by PY is restored. So it brings us to the conclusion that MUX by PX equals to MUY by PY is necessary condition to attain the consumer equilibrium. So according to the law of equimarginal utility, a consumer consuming two commodities should be in equilibrium where the ratio of the marginal utility, that is MUX and MUY, and their prices PX by PY will be equal, okay, and the MU falls as the consumption increases. Finally, it can be concluded that a consumer in consumption of the two commodities will be at equilibrium when he spends his income, limited income, in such a way that the ratio of the marginal utility of two commodities and their respective prices are equal and MU falls as the consumption increases, okay. So this is about the consumer equilibrium in case of two commodities, okay. So you can explain it with also explain the law of equimarginal utility with the help of a numerical example, okay. So this is our schedule. Units we are measuring, MUX, MUY we are measuring, okay. So from this table, if you see what is happening like that, the total money income of the consumer is ₹5, which he wishes to spend on two commodities, say X and Y. Both these commodity are priced ₹1 per unit. So a consumer can buy maximum 5 units of X and 5 units of Y. In the table you can see below maximum 5 units. So how much units the consumer is buying. So from the table it is obvious that the consumer will spend the first rupee on commodity X, which will provide him of utility 20. The second rupee will spend on commodity Y to get the utility of 16. To reach the equilibrium, the consumer should purchase that combination of both the goods when MU of last rupee spent on each commodity is same and MU falls as the consumption increases. So it happens when consumer buys 3 units of X, where 3 units of X and 2 units of Y. At that case, what is happening, like MU from last rupee, 5th rupee spent on commodity Y gives the same satisfaction of 12 utils, okay. Then by the 4th rupee spent on good X, okay. So MU from last rupee, 5th rupee spent on commodity Y, okay, gives the same satisfaction of 12 utils as given by the last rupee 4th spent on good X. So in this way, what is happening, like the total satisfaction of 74 utils will be obtained when consumer buys 3 units of X and 2 units of Y. So it reflects the state of a consumer equilibrium. If the consumer spends his income in any other order, the satisfaction will be less than 74 utils. So there is, since this is our entire utility analysis, okay children, the cardinal utility approach, where the cardinal approach is saying that we can measure the utility and the utils, isn't it? So this in this utility analysis, it is assumed that the utility is cardinally measurable in a numerical term. It can be expressed in the exact unit. However, utility is a feeling of mind. It is a psychological concept, isn't it? And there cannot be any standard measure of what a person feels. Okay, so utility cannot be expressed in figure. So there are other limitations too, but their discussion is beyond the scope. So for one limitation is that the utility analysis is that utility, we cannot measure utility. in exact unit, because it is a psychological concept. We cannot measure how a person feels, isn't it? So this is one of the drawback. So which only the ordinal approach was opposing. Okay, the ordinal approach was opposing, and they were saying like, no, we can't measure utility, just only we can rank them. Okay, just because of this only, because of these limitations only, the ordinal approach was rejecting this, opposing this analysis, okay, of utility analysis, that we cannot measure utility. Okay, so till here is our cardinal utility approach or marginal utility analysis. So consumer equilibrium according to the marginal utility analysis. So in our later part we are going to discuss with the ordinal utility approach.